Happy New Year to everyone on Talk About Autism. It's Jack here. 2015 is, well, a year when I'll set this course for getting back on track. In terms of new beginnings, I still wish to go back to Cranfield, I do. I feel I have the obligation and the duty to do it. Because I still have my passion about spacecraft, and I still wish to carry on further, I do. And I still have a willing to learn. I have severe regrets about my decision of dropping out of Cranfield for not, without even sitting through one exam. It is a feeling of failure and a feeling that I didn't live up to the promise I made to not make the same mistake I made at Hatfield. Even though I'm getting a decent bit of my money back, I still think about the things I missed out on, like learning to use CAD and going through some things I could have probably done better at, like aeronautics and materials and failure analysis, and even been useful refreshers on what I studied at the OU. My parents keep telling me my memory must have been so short because of how things were at Cranfield. I wasn't feeling the motivation to do the work. I just couldn't feel happy there. I couldn't have a sense of enjoyment in doing it. And I was always saying there was little to be positive about. But I mean, isn't that what university's about? You're not supposed to enjoy or completely what you do. It's supposed to be hard work. But anyway, I've already made up the mind. I have to go back to Cranfield and try again. And it's just finding out the right way of getting ready to do it. First thing is, what I have to do is I have to change. I do. That's the first thing I have to do. I cannot I'll just go to the lectures and then come home. I can't and just sit back and relax. That can't happen anymore. What I have to do is I go in, do the work, and then I have to buckle down and learn it. Because a master's level at the university is very different, it is, to a bachelor's level. The lecturers share the information and their knowledge, and it's not their responsibility to make me understand it, and they're not the ones who decide how much I learn. It's my responsibility to learn and what I'm being told. Well, then I wasn't putting the time in on the weekends, hence I was just using them as a way of escaping from what I was doing at Cranfield. My responsibility is to do it, and I can't just... But also it was the university who let me down, and I was given false impressions as to what kind of support I would be getting. Hatfield had a math school, and that teaches master's students, but Cranfield does not have any such thing. It doesn't. You can't just go in and ask them to, even though the other guys on the course were struggling with things like VBA and MATLAB and all that stuff. They were putting in the long hours into the wee hours of the morning to try and understand it. I wasn't. A master's has to be your life. It does. You can't have any other life beside it. You can't have evenings or weekends where you do nothing and just lie in bed, watch YouTube. Something that we didn't have when I was doing my BTEC course, which is something which I'm afraid eats at me a bit. But like I've said, I wish to go back to Cranfield because I feel personally that I have the obligation to do so. I have a desire to learn new things, and I feel it is something I have to do personally. Even though Tim Peake has gotten his seat on a Soyuz rocket without a master's, I feel that I owe it to myself to try again, and I feel that if I had the right state of mind and the right ethic to work, I can do it. Besides, I still wish to improve on areas like working with others, improving my work ethic, and gaining professional expertise, and increasing my knowledge of spacecraft, which is my passion, and to learn things. But My mentor Teresa has told me that a degree is merely a ticket to show that I'm at a position where I can be taught what I need to learn, and that I have the willingness and to do it, and I've shown the capacity for it. No job would take me on expecting to know everything. Even though I wish to gain experience in engineering, I have severe fears I do about applying for jobs, wondering do I want to do it. I've already been turned down for the EasyJet graduate scheme. I mean, as far as I know, there aren't any jobs locally where I could work on spacecraft, because I'm afraid I'm too set in my way to leave home right now. I wasn't planning to do that till after Cranfield, but I know it has to happen. And after I go back to Cranfield and after I graduate with an MSc, that is going to happen. I have to get my head around it. But in the meantime, what I have to do is I have to prepare to go back to Cranfield, and what I'm doing now is I've been told that in the way of maths, which is a key thing, I have to start hard from A levels. I never went on to complete an AS level. So what I have to do is I can't just have private tuition in maths. I have to study it in a structured classroom environment, which is no good on a home study course. Only in a structured classroom environment can I be taught what I need to learn, or at least with private tuition. So I'm looking into places where I can take the A-level exams, and I know where I have to improve on to get back to Cranfield, but I also need to hear from my tutors, and even though it may be harsh saying that I can't do it, it's what I have to know is maybe the MSc does feel more like it's personal to me. I set my mind on doing it and I can't go back on it. Even if people say I can, personally I cannot. I have to try again, and I owe it to myself, and it's what people have told me, that I'm not a quitter and that I am capable of learning this. That's what so many people have told me. They've told me so many times that I'm capable of doing this stuff and was just not doing it the right way. I can't not do it. I regret my decision about dropping out of Cranfield, I do. And part of me wishes I hadn't. Maybe it would have been better to just carry on until they told me it was no point going on anymore. And it is a terrible thing to feel, and I hate, and it has given me so much negativity, it has. That really, if I keep this kind of negativity, I'll never get a job in engineering. But in the meantime, as for studying for my A-levels, it's probably best. My mentor, Teresa, has told me to stay at Tesco, even though a promise I made to myself when I went to Cranfield was not to end up back at Tesco. He'll give me the time to study for maths, it will. And it's a steady job, it is. I still wish to gain expertise in engineering, but I'm looking into applying for graduate schemes, but with nothing local. Not really certain anymore what kind of testing engineering there is available, like checking components or testing materials and things, experiments and things like that. I still wish to pursue my passion in spacecraft. And the MSc, like I've said a few times already, it's something I personally have to do, and after dropping out of Cranfield, it has dealt my self-confidence a very serious blow. It has indeed. Like I've said, I feel like I couldn't handle a job in engineering if I couldn't handle it at Cranfield. So it is something I have to do. I have to go back and I have to prove to myself I can do this. Otherwise, I may never be able to move forward. But first, I have to prepare myself, and right now I need to get to the AS levels. Once I've checked with my tutors at Cranfield, and they have told me what I need to do to prepare, I will go back and try again. Any experience I have in engineering, that will come later. It will as the months come on. I mean, there's always a summer internship. There is. Because, I mean, I feel like I don't want to take a job on permanently. I don't, without... I think it would be nice just to have a bit of work experience in it before I can get a permanent position in it. But we will see what happens. But again, I do finally see that all this negativity is no good. It's no good dwelling on what could have been, but it is the way I look back that I realize where I must change. But something else I need to point out, how my parents, although have kept telling me that the negativity is no good and that it's not going to help me at all, but they've never been to university and they don't know anything about it. They don't at all. My mentor has done, Teresa, she's done up to a doctorate level, and she knows what it's like, that people drop out at undergraduate level because they can't go any further. It's too difficult. You're an independent learner, you are at MSc, master's level. And I've been learning independently with the OU, so I'm capable of it. I just have to find the right way of doing it and change my attitude to learning and my motivation. But anyway, ESA isn't recruiting anytime soon, so as long as I'm not willing to give up, I'm sure that my dream lives on to be an astronaut, and I will make it come true. Maybe people must tell me that I can't do it, because it is better than being set up with false hopes and going down a path that will take me too long to realize it's the wrong one, and then it'll be too late. But all those things I want to improve on, I know I can do it. I have the willingness to do it. I do. I just have to be ready. I have to know where I need to be ready now. But like I said, Teresa has done up to a doctorate level. It is the people who have actually done it on it who have the most effect on you. My parents can't tell me that the negativity is no good because they've never tried to do a degree. They haven't. Whereas Teresa has done up to a doctorate higher than masters. Only someone who has actually done it themselves and knows what it's like can tell you what is the best way forward, and can get it into your head at these things. My parents can encourage me, but unfortunately they can't tell me that I can't keep being negative and that I've not failed by dropping out of Cranfield, because they haven't done it themselves. I'll let you all know in the coming months, I will, how things go for me, and when I get my A-level plan sorted out. But for now, I have a steady job at Tesco and plenty of money coming in. And you never know, if I get prepared adequately, I may not need to do the pre-masters, and I won't have to worry about all that VBA stuff and MATLAB stuff. Because really, I couldn't do it if my life depended on it. But we'll see what happens in the future. So, for now, Happy New Year to everyone, and may you all have new beginnings too.